What is going on, everyone? My name is the California Cougar, and today I've got another Survivor video for you all. Now you might be thinking, whoa, another Survivor video? How much more is there to talk about in terms of Edge of Extinction and all that? Well, I'm actually not going to be talking about Survivor Edge of Extinction. I'm not even going to be talking about Season 39, Island of the Idols. I'm going to be talking about Season 40. Now you might be thinking, whoa, that's a year in advance though. But there's a rumored cast list out there that I feel like I really need to get into. Now, I'm not going to fully assess the cast like I do with my other cast assessment videos because, I mean, you guys are right when you say that it's a year away. So I'm going to save that video for when the season actually starts. I'm mostly going to be talking about some surprises and some snubs. So yeah, first I'll talk about who's who's rumored to be in the cast, because yeah, it's not even confirmed. This is just a rumor. It's not confirmed, but it is a rumor because season 40 is actually about to start filming. I think like either it could be filming like its first few days now, or it could start to film later toward the end of the month. I don't really know. Either way, we know it's about to start filming. Season 39 has already wrapped up filming, so yeah. But Season 40, let's get right into it. Now, Season 40 is said to be an all-winners season, which is kind of surprising that they're doing it now rather than waiting for like Season 50 or something. Like Season 50 just seems more like a better milestone for an all-winners season. Season 40, I thought Season 40 was going to be like a Heroes vs. Villains 2 type of thing, and maybe it will be, just involving all winners. But yeah, Season 40 is said to be an all-winner season, and I know a lot of Survivor fans were asking for a season like this. They've been asking for it for a while. Where's the all-winner season? And the reason why it's taken so long is because of like just the amount of winners. There weren't a lot of like good winners, but now there's enough winners where like it could easily fill out 20 people. And I'm going to talk about the rumored 20 people, and yes, there's some surprises here, but yeah, I'm mainly going to be going over some surprises and some of the snubs, some of the winners that were not invited. So, starting off with the women, the 10 women Survivor winners that have been or that are rumored to be on the cast are Amber Mariano, Danny Boatwright, Denise Stapley, Kim Spradlin, Michelle Fitzgerald, Natalie Anderson, Parvati Shallow, Sandra Diaz-Twine, Sarah Lucina, and Sophie Clark. Now, Amber, she was on Australian Outback, and then she won Survivor All-Stars. Danny, she won Survivor Guatemala. Denise won Survivor Philippines. Kim won Survivor One World. Michelle won Survivor Cochran. Natalie won Survivor San Juan del Sur. Parvati, she was on Survivor Cook Islands. She won Survivor Micronesia, and then she finished second in Heroes vs. Villains. Sandra, she is the only two-time winner on this list, winning Survivor Pearl Islands and Survivor Heroes vs. Villains. She competed for a third time in Survivor Game Changers. Sarah, she will be a three-time returnee in this season, having competed on Survivor Cagayan and winning Survivor Game Changers. And then Sophie, who I consider to be the worst winner of all time, she won Survivor South Pacific. Alright, so some of the surprises on this list. First of all, there's only 4 women that were snubbed, because of the 38 seasons that have premiered so far, 15 of them had female winners, and that includes both of Sandra's wins. So technically only 14 women have actually won. And now, of all these players, let's see, 1, 2, 3, I'm trying to count. Okay, yeah, 4 of them have played in more than one season. So I appreciate the fact that at least that more than half are going to be second-time players. So I can appreciate that. Now, the 4 snubs are Tina, winner of Survivor Australian Outback, Visepia, winner of Survivor Marquesas, and then Jenna, winner of Survivor Amazon, and Natalie White, the winner of Survivor Samoa. Now, would I have liked to see someone like Natalie or Vesepia return? Yes, because Natalie and Vesepia are the only other one-time female winners or one-time female players that have won their season. So, and neither of them are known as very powerful winners. Because, like, Vesepia was, like, the first underdog story, but she didn't really do much in terms of gameplay. She just kind of hung around with Sean, kind of rode Sean's coattails for a while, up until Sean was voted out, but then Vesepia did what she needed to do to get into the final two. She made deals with people, like she made that deal with Kathy. Yeah, I would have liked to see Vesepia return, especially since she hasn't played since Season 4. I mean, we're talking 18 years since she last played. So it would have been interesting to see her come back. I mean, Kelly Wigglesworth did it in Season 31. Now, she didn't do too well, but yeah, she made the merge and then was voted off a couple travels later. But yeah, I think it would have been nice to see Vesepia return. So, yeah. And then Natalie White, again, she was kind of a weaker winner. She was known for riding the coattails of Russell Hantz. But the problem is Russell made the jury look bad, and the jury didn't like it. So, bitter jury ended up voting for Natalie White to win the game. So, yeah. And then Tina, she won Australia. She returned for All-Stars, was the first one voted out. And then she finished 4th in Blood vs. Water on her second return. A lot of people are saying that she would have won that season if she had just won the final immunity challenge and gotten into the final 3. And then Jenna is the other one that's technically a 2-time player, although she seems more like a 1-time player because in her second season, Survivor All-Stars, she actually pulled herself out of the game to go be with her sick mom, which I'm sure everyone can understand. And she even acknowledged that she made a huge mistake in returning. So yeah, some of the surprises on this list. I'm surprised Amber's on this list because I remember after Boston Rob won. Speaking of Boston Rob, we'll get to him a little bit later. But after Boston Rob won, he said he was done. And I think Rob and Amber were both invited back for a Blood vs. Water 1, I think. The one that had returning players. I think they were invited back for Blood vs. Water 1, but they turned it down, saying that their Survivor experience was complete. So, yeah, a little surprised to see Amber on this list. Let's see. The other one I'm surprised by is Parvati, because Parvati, she's now, a part of the actual show. Not really a host or a co-host or anything, just kind of a producer. Is that the right word? I know she works with the show, and she works with CBS on the show. So, and she has said after Heroes vs. Villains, she did not want to play again. So, yeah, I'm surprised to see her back as well. Not really too surprised by the other ones, especially Sandra, because I know Sandra would definitely want to be a part of an all-winner season, even though it's her 4th time, and she won her first 2 times. She's basically ruining her record here by competing more, but yeah. So, yeah, definitely surprised to see them. If I were to pick, I would say replace Parvati with Vesepia, replace Amber with Natalie White. Tina, I don't really care that. Yeah, a lot of people are unhappy that she's not on the list because she was the first ever female winner, but honestly, I don't really mind. She had her 3rd chance in Blood vs. Water, so now if she had won Blood vs. Water, then maybe, but yeah, I don't mind not seeing her on this list, to be honest. And I feel like Jenna, I mean, I'm kind of mixed with her. I didn't really like her all that much in Amazon, although I do feel kind of bad for her that she had to pull herself out of the game to be with her sick mom. So I think it would be nice to see her get a second chance, although it's kind of hard to pick who I would replace. On a personal level, Sophie, but I could understand why they brought Sophie back because she's only played once, and even though she was a terrible winner, I mean, maybe she can redeem herself this season. Who knows? In terms of personal stuff. So yeah, that's all the female winners. Now let's get to the male. So you got Adam Klein, winner of Survivor Millennials vs. Gen X. This would be his 2nd time playing. Ben from the winner of Heroes, Healers, Hustlers, also his second time playing. You got Ethan Zahn, the winner of Survivor Africa. This would be his third time playing. Jeremy from the winner of Survivor Cambodia. This would also be his third time playing. Nick Wilson, winner of Survivor David vs. Goliath. Brand new winner, obviously, so this would be his second time playing. Boston Rob Mariano. This would be his fifth time playing. He'd be the first ever 5-time Survivor player. He won on his fourth time playing Survivor Redemption Island, but he was also in Survivor Marquesas. He finished second in Survivor All-Stars, and he made a third appearance in Survivor Heroes vs. Villains. Alright, Tony. This will be his third time playing. He won Survivor Cagayan, and then he came back for Survivor Game Changers. Tyson. This will be his fourth time playing. He was on Survivor Tocantins originally, then he came back for Heroes vs. Villains, where he infamously voted himself out of the game, and then he won Survivor Blood vs. Water. Up next, you have Wendell, winner of Survivor Ghost Island. That would be his second time playing. And then Yule, winner of Survivor Cook Islands. This would be his second time playing. So, definitely a lot of surprises here. There are some I'm not too surprised about, like Yule. I'm glad they finally decided to bring him back. I know a lot of people have been waiting for him for a while. And of course, like Tony. Tony's going to be known as a classic winner. It's kind of hard to have an all-winner season and not have him. Let's see. Let's take a look at some of these other ones. But yeah, some surprises here. I'm definitely surprised by Boston Rob because, like with Amber, pretty much the same thing as Amber. Like, he said he doesn't want to play again. He said he's done with Survivor. And actually, I forgot to mention this with Sandra, because this applies to Sandra too, but if you saw the preview for Survivor Season 39 at the end of the reunion show for Edge of Extinction, if you saw that preview, you saw that Boston Rob and Sandra were going to be mentors to 20 new players in Season 39. So basically they're going to be out there. They're going to be surviving the elements, but they're not going to be eligible to win the $1 million. You know what I mean? They're going to be out there to like coach the new players, pretty much. At least that's what it sounds like. It's called Survivor Island of the Idols. Kind of a weird name. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. But yeah. So to see both of them go from mentoring people, and then they're going to be playing in an all-winner season themselves, very surprising. But, I mean, Boston Rob, he did say he was done with Survivor, but, I mean, I guess Season 39 kind of proves he's not totally done with it, and especially since he's on this rumored cast list, that totally proves he's not done with it yet. I guess he wants to prove he's the best of the best, but what's even more surprising is to see both Rob and Amber on this list. Like, I didn't know they could do that, considering they're husband and wife. Like, I didn't know they could do that on a non-blood versus water season. And clearly this is not a blood versus water season, because other than those two, no one else has any relationship with any of the other players. So it's definitely not a blood versus water season. So yeah, to see them both on this list, like, I don't know. Like, more thoughts on that in the actual cast system. I feel like they're going to be in trouble early because of that. Like, one of them's bound to get voted off pre-merge. But again, more on that when Season 40 is actually starting to come around the corner. But yeah. And a lot of the people on this list are recent winners too. Like, you got Wendell, you got Nick. Jeremy is kind of recent. He is still in the 30s though, like the 30 seasons. Ben and Adam. So yeah, a lot of recent winners here. I mean, Michelle and Sarah, like, yeah, you have them on this list mainly because there aren't a lot of female Survivor winners. But yeah, the amount of recent winners here is interesting. Especially since, like, let's go over the 13 snubs. 23 men have won Survivor, including Chris, which is one of the snubs. I'm not really too surprised that he was snubbed, mainly because the finale and Season 40 are so close, so they probably already casted Season 40 before Chris even won. So, yeah, I'm not too surprised by his snub, but let's go over some of the other snubs here. So, starting off, Richard Hatch. I'm surprised Richard Hatch is not in this cast list because how can you have an all-winner season without the original winner? Just seems kind of weird to me. I don't know if it had to do with his little incident with Sue Hawk in Survivor All-Stars that ultimately led to Sue quitting, or even the fact that he was in jail forever because of tax evasion, or the fact that he wasn't allowed to leave the country for a good amount of time. I don't know if it has anything to do with that or any of those other things, or just the fact that a lot of people might think he's a bad person. So, yeah, I don't know if it has anything to do with that, but I feel like you gotta have the original winner on here. So that's definitely a big snub. And then Ethan, Ethan's the earliest winner. And like Amber, he hasn't played since All-Star, so it'll definitely be interesting to see those two. Alright, up next you got Brian Heidick. Now, Brian Heidick, I think he's one of the more underrated winners, even though that season absolutely sucks. I do think Brian is a good winner, but he was a little bit repulsive. And I know that Jeff Probst and a lot of the producers have said they don't want him back because they'd be too repulsed. They were way too repulsed by him. So, yeah, it's a little, it's not too surprising that he's not back, but, I mean, he's only played once, so, yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people that would love to see him come back. And then Chris, from the winner of Survivor Vanuatu. I'm surprised he's not back, because, like Vesepia, he had one of the biggest underdog stories of the first 10 seasons. He was the last man standing at Final 7, and he was against an all-girls alliance, and they were going to vote him out, but then they didn't, so... And then he ended up going to the end and winning, so, yeah, definitely surprised to not see him back. I would have liked to see him back, especially since that was he's only played once. He's another one that's only played once. They snubbed a lot of people that only played once, that are not recent on this list. Alright, and then, okay, Aris from Panama. I mean, he just played in Blood vs. Water, so it was semi-recent. Not super recent, but still somewhat recent. So, again, not too surprised they didn't bring him back. I don't really mind that they didn't bring him back. I'm just glad they brought Yule back. But then you get to Earl from Survivor Fiji. And, again, he's only played once, and he was the first person to ever win having received every jury vote. And I think he only received one vote against him throughout the entire game. I think it was at the third tribal council or something. So yeah, he almost played a perfect game. Almost. But yeah, a little surprised to not see him back here. And then the one I'm probably most surprised to not see here is Todd from Survivor China. Todd, who wasn't really expected to win going into the final tribal. I think Amanda was the favorite. But then Todd had that final tribal council performance that just blew the entire jury away, and he ended up getting 4 jury votes, which was enough to win that season. So, yeah, very surprised to not see Todd back here, especially since he played a really good game. He has one of the best final tribal council performances ever in the history of the show. So, yeah, very surprised to not see Todd back here. And I would have liked to see Todd back here. Okay, up next, Bob Crowley, winner of Gabon. Not too surprised to not see him back here. He's not one of the best winners in my eyes. He's only played once, like Todd and Earl and all the other guys, but yeah, not too surprised to not see him back here. Plus, he's probably getting a little old for the show anyway. It's been over 10 years, and he was 56, I think, when he played. So yeah, he's in his upper 60s now. He'd probably be one of the first people voted off, if I had to guess. And then up next, JT. Now, JT, yes, I would have liked to see JT come back because he's the first ever perfect game winner. Perfect game meaning he never received a single vote against him to vote him out. He never received a single vote against him, and then he received every single jury vote to win. He was the first person to do that. So, yeah, a little disappointed to not see him, but he has played 3 times already. And he made some infamously dumb moves in both Heroes vs. Villains and Game Changers, both having to do with hidden immunity idols. So, yeah, not too surprised to not see him back, but it would have been nice. Up next, another one that I wish was coming back, Fabio, another very underrated winner. He was the one that kind of played dumb, and then he ended up flying under the radar, but then he said at the final tribal he did it on purpose to not piss anybody off. And it ended up working, and he got 5 votes to win. So, yeah, I would have liked to see Fabio back. But I know he's run into a few legal problems here and there as well. But he was a likable winner, so yeah, definitely surprised to not see him back. And then, let's see, up next, okay, we've already talked about Rob. John Cochran, actually, this is the biggest surprise, not Todd. John Cochran not being invited back, because Jeff Probst loves John Cochran, and he's the second player ever to play a perfect game. Again, perfect game meaning never received a single vote to vote him out of the game, and then got every single jury vote. So yeah, definitely surprised to not see John Cochran make a return. It would be his 3rd time playing, but the producers and Probst love him. And he even wrote a book on Survivor. He's one of the biggest super fans ever to play the game. So yeah, very surprised to not see Cochran on the returnee list. And then, I think, is that it? Let's see. I'm trying to look. No. Mike Holloway from Survivor Worlds Apart. He's the last snub. And I'm surprised not to see him back as well, because he was actually on the second chance. He was actually on the second chance list for a while to play in season 31. He was on the list, and the fans voted him into the top 10 male players they wanted to see back. But since he won season 30, he ended up being disqualified from that list, so he didn't get to play. But yeah, very surprised to not see him come back for an all-winner season, especially since he's one of the biggest immunity challenge beasts out there. He's also known for that controversial move at the Survivor auction, which I think ended up being the downfall of the Survivor auction, unfortunately. But yeah. So, yeah. Overall, I think of the winners we got here, I would like to see some of the more recent winners be replaced by people like Chris and maybe Brian, Todd, Earl, some of the earlier winners. I would have liked to see them come back. Especially the ones that have only played once. Like, again, Chris, Todd. Oh, one snub I forgot. Tom Westman from Survivor Palau. That was the one snub I forgot. He did play in Heroes vs. Villains, but he's also known as one of the more likable winners. So, a little surprised to not see him back, but not too much since he did play in Heroes vs. Villains. But, so, yeah. Overall, yeah, like Chris, and especially in an all-winner season, Richard Hatch. But, yeah, mainly Chris, Todd, Earl, some of the old school one-time winners. I would have liked to see them make a comeback in favor of these more recent winners. As much as I like Nick, and as much as I like Wendell and Ben and Adam and all these guys, I would have liked to see some of the older winners come back. So that's just my thoughts so far. Again, this is just a rumor. This is not 100% confirmed, although a lot of people seem to think that this is going to be the final cast list. And I wouldn't be too surprised if it was, but Rob and Amber on the same season, it's kind of weird. Just kind of weird. I feel like it's going to bite, the fact that they're both on the season is going to come back and bite both of them in the butt in the end. So, yeah, what do you guys think about the rumored all-winners cast list that is rumored to be on Survivor Season 40? Make sure to let me know down in the comments below. What do you think? And who would you replace with other winners? Or would you just keep everybody on this list? Are there, what are the biggest snubs? What are the biggest surprises? Make sure to let me know down in the comments below what you think. And make sure to subscribe to my channel for more Survivor content, movie content, pretty much a lot of content to come in the future. And until next time, once again, my name is the California Cougar. And always remember to stay California cool. Peace.